Hey, what's up, guys? Tukey here, back again. This is Draft Glory, and let's get right into it. Of course, we finished up the re-sign phase in the prior episode after completing the draft, which was fairly successful. It is going to sting for a very, very long time that we missed out on a medium franchise player, but we have to move on. The team continues to improve. Last year was our best season yet, and despite missing out on a franchise-level player, we did add some half-decent players to our squad moving forward. Now, as far as who we add in the off-season, we are still looking, of course, at pretty much going with the lowest overall players. That's always going to be a debate, is should I get somebody better? I don't know. It's irrelevant, really. It doesn't really matter. Although it would be nice to be just like, oh, here, John Corson, 20 years old. But let's take a look here. Like, see, someone like that, Preston Chelios, a former first-round pick. It would be amazing to sign him. We're not going to. We're not going to. So first things first, let's look at veteran players that we could give big-time contracts to. Do I want to sign Mark Fane? He's a 72. It's not like he'd add a hell of a lot to the team. Oh my God, Mark Stahl's only a 70. I'm going to sign Mark Stahl. He is listed as an other defenseman as well, so I don't believe that to be morale related. But let's give Mark Stahl $16 million, shall we? Oh, the poor bastard. We have Ronnie Ahonen and Ryan Parent as well. We'll look to bring in these guys. Again, the veteran presence for this team. We have $55 million in cap space, so we do have to sign a few players to max deals. And actually, let's see, this would bring us up to near 45 mil. So we're good to go there. 3 players at nearly 15 million bucks each. But let's see, who else here? We have Dudas. Jesse Dudas was a 6th round pick of Columbus in the first year draft. Whoa! Is that right? Did Columbus draft somebody in the 6th round of last year's draft that was 33 years old? That can't be right, can it? That's insane if that's true. There's no way. He wouldn't be in the entry draft. What the hell is that? All right, then. Well, that's just strange, and I don't know how to explain that, but okay. I'm also going to look to sign Andrew Campbell, and I think we're good. Defensively, we mainly just need forwards as far as I can remember. We will double-check, of course. Let's see. Veterans. Tim Laine, we just keep signing you. Why not? We just keep on signing you. And we'll just sign you to whatever we have to here. Sam Clark MacArthur, we'll bring him back. PL3, we'll bring him back as well. I know he's listed as a 4th liner again, but it doesn't really matter. Torrey Mitchell, we'll bring back Torrey Mitchell too. These veterans just continue to get paid. Trevor Smith, we'll sign you up as well. Who else? Matt Reed's obviously too good. Olim, who, man, I thought he was drafted by somebody. I mean, obviously, he was kind of hanging around the NHL for a while there, but I can't remember with who. We have Reddix, Carlson, Sebastian Carlson. Sure, we'll sign him. We'll sign him. Who else do we got? Who else do we got for veteran? Morton Madsen. Damn. I mean, just there. Damn. Good Lord. Don't mess with him. Looks fucking mean. That's the only thing I got to say. He looks fucking mean. Matt Watkins, will sign you up as well. Hopefully he accepts that. I didn't realize that the number went down, or the asking price went up. Magnus Hagstrom. Any other familiar names? Rich Clune. Is anybody... No. If anybody's mad that I'm sending an offer to Rich Clune, just... Nah. Screw you. He's a 74 overall. Rich Clune. I like Rich Clune. We're going to bring him in. Why the hell not? So that will be our first batch of players. And without all those signings, you notice our ratings. Things are looking good. Of course, we're going to get progression from our players that are already here. So we're looking good. You would assume, of course, that we're only going to get better on top of what we did in the prior season. And it's an easy assumption, but you never know for sure, right? You never know for sure. We could regress a little bit. I obviously hope not. But you never know. We're actually at 49 contracts. Beautiful. Beautiful. I could go for the full 50, but it really doesn't matter. Let's move forward to the next season. We'll get our team set up, and of course, auto-rotate goalie continues to be on through this series, so we should hopefully be able to breeze through things. I do want to mention as well, because I was going to say, like, oh, you know, we'll breeze through, we'll take a look at the stats. I've been making an incredibly dumb mistake that you guys have pointed out in the comments about me, you know, how I should look at stats before the playoffs rather than after, mainly for the rookie scoring. Then again, like, does rookie scoring even matter? Because half the time it's too tough to tell, and it could be a goalie that wins it anyway. So I might not even look at the stats for rookie skating anymore. I don't know. Maybe I will. We'll see. Or maybe I'll just look at the stats once our season is over, rather than at the end of the playoffs. Right. I was hoping that would be done, because that was the only thing I really had to mention at this stage that's at least relevant. Aside from the fact, because with a lot of things, with a lot of these videos, I don't want to be like, oh, hey, I didn't upload yesterday, which is true, I didn't. But I don't want to be like, hey, I didn't upload yesterday, because there could be somebody watching this in a playlist, who knows how far down the road, that's like, yeah, well, I don't care, because I just watched episode 6 today, and then I've watched every episode today. So I just, see, this is what happens when I have nothing to talk about. The good thing is we get to look at the team. Ottinger is now an 85. Funny thing, though, he's only listed as a backup as an 85 overall, but he is an 85, Marmanland an 83, and down in the AHL we're getting some good progression from Quirk as well. Here's the thing. If Quirk is ready and Marmanland doesn't progress beyond that, eventually it could just be Marmanland down in the AHL, depending, and it could be Quirk. But we will come to that, well, we'll get to that road when we come to it, I should say. But let's see here. We'll send those 3 down. I think this team's going to be looking all right, man. This team's going to be looking all right. So we have our top 6 is Eriksson, Ola Eriksson. What are we going to do there? Do we want to keep him on this team or send him down? Who's better between Verkunen and Eriksson? They're both medium top 4. Oh, that doesn't help at all. That doesn't help. Damn, and Plouffe is high AHL top 6, but we still want to see if we can get the most out of him. I'll double check. I'll go best lines. Whoever puts in the lineup will stay. The other guy will get sent down to the AHL. Speaking of which, though, the AHL, we might have to call up a few guys just to make sure that our actual players get the proper ice time. And let's see here for the forwards. Laine, Mitchell, Carlson can be sent down. Winquist, of course, sent down. Boys, Motto, McIntyre. I'll have to call them up. Ahonen is ours. Okay, I thought so. That's why I wanted to double check. And then Ekman also is one of our drafted players. Let's send these guys down. Try to keep the AHL somewhat relevant at least. Now, Polak is ours. Coop, also another one of our players. So who do we have to send down? Olim and Watkins. Now, the 71 of Trevor Smith needs to go. I'm probably going to send down Rich Clune anyway, because that puts us at 18. We actually need one more. It should be 19. We have the extra defenseman. So there is still a chance of Rich Clune being in the lineup here, because I don't think I want to put Valaket on the NHL roster. Yeah, so let's go with Rich Clune. Let's go with Rich Clune, 74 overall. But like I said, that's fine. It's nothing major. We're not going to win or lose or have a great season or a terrible season off the back of having Rich Clune in our lineup. But let's see here. It goes with Ola Eriksson. Ola Eriksson wins out. All right, so let's go back to roster moves here. We will have to send down Verkunen, which is a little bit of a shame, but that's also a good sign that we have 2 players who are already battling for one of those roster spots. So again, we'll go best lines here. So our top line is Winquist, Patrick, and Svechnikov. Lane, Motto, Boys, Clune, McIntyre, Polak, Coop, Ahonen, and Ekman. Lowest overall guy is a 68. He was a 7th round pick of ours, though. So interesting to see him get some ice time. Moroza and Manulin, both 82s. Goring, also an 80, despite the low top 6 potential. For, say, like a Red Wings series or a different type of series, he might not be that useful. And still, it wasn't the best pick for a 2nd rounder. But he has made the NHL lineup at this stage. So, you know, that counts for something. That counts for something. But let me double check here. I need to make sure that none of our actual players are scratched, and they are. which is a bit of a shame. I haven't had to put too much attention into our AHL roster. Now it's getting to the stage, though, where I am going to have to. I am going to have to make sure that certain players get into the lineup. Someone like Davis, for example, who didn't get into the lineup last year at all and is obviously quite furious. But I'm hoping that'll turn around. It is the last year of his entry-level deal, and I'm hoping that'll turn around. He was a 7th-round pick. There's a chance he could retire. I mean, he wasn't the greatest player. There's a chance he could retire at the end of this upcoming season, or at the end of, it's still technically an upcoming season. We need to get Wheating into the lineup. We also need to get Calle Hedberg into the lineup potentially. Right. So that's what. Damn it! That's what I was going to do. I didn't want to take too much time with this part of the video, but I have to. So let's call up Trevor Smith, and then on defense we'll call up Andrew Campbell and Mark Stahl. They'll just sit on the NHL roster, and that'll open up a few more spots at the AHL level. So again, I'm going to go best lines, as frustrating as that is, and we'll just breeze through this as quickly as we can. I can just not fight off this burp, man. Damn. It's not even Arnold Palmer half and half today. I'm out of it. I forgot to go to the store. It's awful. It's awful. Not the drink, the fact that I'm out of it. It's disastrous. It's the worst. No, it's not the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Come on, I'm just being dramatic. So let's see. It does put Calle Hedberg into the lineup, but obviously Wheating is the number one guy here. He's a 63, medium elite potential, and we'll even put him on the top pairing. Actually, Hakanpää, hell of a name. Hakanpää? I have no idea. He's not even our guy. So we will get 6 defensemen into the lineup. So that's just perfect. And it puts Parent into... Nope, I didn't mean to put Parent there. Oh my god, this part of the video is taking forever. Calle Hedberg. Damn it. Nope, I can't go best lines again to do this. Hold on. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I was gonna switch out. I was gonna have Wheating take over for Hakanpää's spot. That way he'd get power play time. At this stage, I just cannot be bothered. So, didn't mean to do that. But we'll have Verkunen and Wheating, Ferraro, Manes. There we go. We're good. Holy shit, we're good. We're actually going to get to the sim here. Damn it, this part of the video has taken way too long. But the roster is set. Let's see what we can do this season. 80, 82, and 86 for the ratings. Down in the AHL of 63, 67, but 77 in goaltending. And quickly allow me to start the scouting process. We're going to have to scout every region for 2 weeks. And again, we're at the stage where we don't have to look for goaltenders. The only time we'll consider drafting a goalie at this point, like I previously mentioned, is if they're top 10. If they're top 5, we absolutely take them because they're at least high starter, maybe even a franchise level player. Now, not too often in my series, from what I remember, have there been franchise level players. Of course, we had a franchise level goalie in the Blues series, and we just saw a franchise player appear in this series. But needless to say, that's the only time I'm going to take a chance with the goaltending. We are good to go. That was the plan. It has worked out, and now we get to move forward. Of course, like I mentioned, at some point, trades will factor in to this series. I'll never do, I will never do a player for player trade. If I get rid of somebody, it's to recoup a draft pick. And like I said, I think the way I want to handle it to avoid pick hoarding is if I decide to trade somebody, and there's been a couple of ways that have been discussed in the comments section of how to handle it. Like, oh, you can only trade them for whatever round they were drafted in, I think was what someone mentioned. My plan for trades in this series, when we eventually get to that point, is to trade them for the most valuable individual pick that we can. So if we get a goalie who has tremendous value, we'll get him for the first round pick, and we'll miss out on some value there. But who knows who that first round pick ends up being? Now, typically with my with my series and my trades, I do like to get fair value. I'm still not completely sold on what I want to do. I think you can tell that by the tone in my voice. But pick hoarding is not going to be a thing on this series. We're not going to acquire crazy players. I would love to have been able to pick up Sheraprizov from the Rangers, but I don't think I want waivers to be a part of my series either. At least not this series. This series is about the challenge. This series is about having that level of patience and just seeing if we can turn this team into a winner. Which so far is not the case. We had a much better start to last year. 0 wins through our first 8 games. That is rough. We do at least have the 2 overtime losses, so we at least have 2 points on the board this year. But a rough start to the season in October. But with the trades, we do have so many options of what we could do, as I've mentioned. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. But the plan isn't to just be like, oh, okay, well, we're going to let Marminland walk because our goalies are ready. Like, that is not the plan. That is not the plan. We'll make the most of it when the time comes, and even then, I think we're still a little bit of a ways away from having to worry about potentially trading anybody. And I feel confident in saying that now, especially because Marminland's an 83 overall, and he's still listed as a minor league starter. So what do you make of that? But let's see here. Oh, Ekman was apparently out as well. All right. I thought of Ola Eriksson because I remember seeing him be injured. So we'll take out Trevor Smith for Ekman, and hopefully he can avoid getting hurt again. That would be lovely, but it'll probably happen unless he managed to fully heal up before that prior Tampa game where we got smoked. Kip Goring is available. That would be the one thing that would really suck, is if we just run into a ton of injuries in this video. Fingers crossed that that is not the case, but we will have to see to find out. You might notice too, a lot of the morales are in a really rough spot. That is one thing I was pretty worried about with the way I've handled getting rid of people year in and year out, is a lot of players are going to get pissed that I, pick up somebody for a year. Oh, hey, I'm friends with him now, and you fired him. Because these people are unprofessional and don't put the future of the franchise over their own personal friendships. They're selfish. That's what they are. They are selfish, I tell you. It is all about the franchise, not your friendships. Don't worry, you'll have plenty of time to go golfing during the off-season, because Lord knows we're not making the playoffs. So what's the complaint? What is the complaint? Rich Klune with 43 penalty minutes thus far. That is fantastic. I meant to hit the assistant coach, put in the best player. Completely hit the wrong button, but that's okay. And we pick up a win. Our 3rd win of the year over Edmonton. Follow that up with an overtime loss to Montreal. We're certainly not doing as well as I hoped we would have. Now, I still assumed that one way or another we would end up with the first overall pick heading into the draft lottery, but I had a lot of hope at the end of last season. We did really well. Again, the gap between last place, us at last place, and the 29th overall team wasn't too big, as Jared Coop goes down to injury again, because of course he does. It didn't happen to the player earlier, but it happens to Coop on the 4th line. So, disappointing. I think we can already chalk this season up as a loss. It is surprising. It is surprising. You would think with some of the players we have added that things would be going a little bit better, but that is not the case. Let's get Coop back into the lineup. He was a center. How's our top line doing, for the hell of it? How's our top line doing? I mean, the plus-minus isn't terrible, but, yeah, interesting. Goaltending? Yes, again, I think just everyone had a better year last year. I think that's what it comes down to. Everybody had a better season last time out. We are struggling. We are struggling heavily. Hershey, though, on a better pace than they were last year, so that's good. They were awful last year. Oh my God. They were so bad last season. But right now, things are looking okay for them. We are we're not doing so hot, though, on the main roster, are we? What do we have, 13 points? And Ottinger goes down. Ottinger goes down for about a week, which is really just a pain in the ass. It really is. But, you know, we do have the 5th goalie in the rotation, Kolosov, who will get the call-up. That way the AHL lines don't have to be fixed. And I really wish I could go best lines here, but it would put Trevor Smith into the lineup. Let's get Marmanland as the starter. Put Kolosov in. That might even give him a game. I have no idea. And actually, now that I think about it, I really should put my players. I don't know why I didn't think of this. Man, that was a dumb mistake. Not that I have a ton of my players in the lineup. You know, I have, what, 4 of them? Burns, Yarvinen, Novoseltsev, and Davis. Everybody else is a veteran. But again, we'll continue to build up the team. The NHL roster, you know, aside from the depth players that we have, 100% drafted players. So that's pretty sweet. The defense in the AHL side, 100% drafted players. So we're in a good spot. The problem right now is I don't know if Ottinger's fully healthy. So I'm going to send down Mark Stahl. That's going to piss him off, but it's not like he's going to be in the lineup anyway. He can whine about it all he wants. I need to make sure that Ottinger doesn't miss a game, and he can't be scratched either. I might as well just look. What the hell? Oh, God, what a pain in the ass. But I have to make sure that Ottinger isn't the backup goalie because he'll just get hurt again. So let's take a look. He is not 100%, as I would have thought. So we'll sim the next game. He should be fully healthy. I couldn't remember the date that it said. I'm pretty sure now it was December 19th. So he should be good to go for this next game against the Columbus Blue Jackets. We beat the Detroit Red Wings. How do you like that? Tell me that Ottinger is fully healthy, please. He is not. All right, let's sim this game against the Blue Jackets. We'll have to... I don't know what hafty. I don't know what hafty means. But we will have to sim to this game against Dallas after setting up the scouting. Is he healthy? Holy shit, he's not fully healthy yet. Unless I missed it. In which case, that could be disastrous for the franchise if I missed that. Because his morale could plummet. Is he not fully healthy yet? Oh my God, did I miss it? Did I screw it up? What's going on here? What is going on here? The 16-point Washington Capitals. Is he fully healthy? What the hell? He is. Okay, I must have missed it. I'm shocked. His morale didn't plummet. Maybe because he's not an elite goalie. That might be it. But let's see here. Goaltenders. Kolosov, I am sorry, but back to the minors with you. And we'll call up Mark Stahl. Don't worry, Mark. You're back in the fold. There you go. Smile. Smile a little bit, buddy. You're back with the big team at a 64 overall. Oh, poor Mark Stahl. Part of me feels like I just said Mark Stone. I have no idea. I'm recording this later than I should. You guys, I think you guys could kind of tell when it might be a bit later for me because I ramble that much more. I ramble regardless in these videos. But when I'm tired, boy, do I just ramble on and on. Nonsensically for as long as it takes until something else interesting happens in which I can actually do something. And I wouldn't define editing the roster as interesting. Not quite. Not quite. Can we get one more win in 2021, please? Probably not. Hey, shootout win. We ended the year on a good note and picked up our 7th win of the season. And then the Rangers immediately kicked our ass in the next game. But hey, you lost. You lost to us, and we can brag about that for the rest of this series. For the rest of this series, we can brag, no doubt about it. No doubt. You know, it's funny. Somebody called me out. It's like, man, you repeat everything you say. Why not? Why not, I say? Yeah. It's just a matter of stalling for time. That's all it is. Because imagine every one of these videos being an hour long and trying to make the menu, trying to make this calendar seem interesting. Because talking about every individual game, like, oh, we beat the Bruins 5-3, we lost to Arizona, oh, but we beat Anaheim. That's not interesting. So I'd rather ramble nonsensically and repeat myself for the next 20 minutes or however long it takes to sim through the rest of this year. Because it makes it interesting for me. And damn it, I gotta have fun with this somehow. Because when you think about it, I'm sitting here, staring at a TV, speaking into a microphone, in a room by myself. Well, not by myself, I do have a dog sleeping on the bed beside me. That's it. Think about how just stupid this is. So I'm sitting in a room, looking at a TV, speaking into a microphone. I am talking to myself right now. Right now. It's stupid. Okay? Like I've said a million times, I don't take myself too seriously with this. I recognize the absurdity of this entire situation. And it's beautiful. It is beautiful. Let's see, where do we got to scout next? We're beyond Russia, so we'll go to the SHL for 2 weeks. See if we can get a gem out of the Swedish League this season. We have won 3 of our last 4 games. What is going on? The All-Star break, just what the doctor ordered. All right. All righty then. Oh my God, we beat Edmonton too. See, now it's kind of interesting to talk about every game result because we're actually winning. We're actually winning. 4 out of our last 5. We just beat Detroit. Whoever's in 29th better watch out. The Washington Capitals might not finish last this year. We're on fire. We are on fire in the month of February. Holy shit. How did this happen? How did this happen? A shootout loss to Carolina, but a pity point is still a point, and then we get just shit on by Detroit. But that typically happens. If we beat somebody and then play them again within the next week, they normally just stomp us into the ground. Walt McIntyre goes down to injury. Again, I hit the wrong button. Shit. That's all right. We'll put a Honan up on the 3rd line. And we'll put Trevor Smith into the lineup. And actually, here, let's drop Rich Kloon. And we'll make that the new 3rd line. Looking good. Defensively, no progression, unfortunately. And then the goaltending, Ottinger still below a 900. Marmanlund still below a 900. AHL progression, Cal Davis at least doesn't want to jump off a bridge anymore, so that's good. That's good. Wheating is up, or Whiting? I'm going to say Wheating for this series, but he's up to a 66. Minus 39. A negative 39 on the season. Right. Well, I mean, yeah, it would be minus. I'll say the correct terminology so nobody gets pissed off at me, all right? Walter McIntyre is healthy. That's the one thing I hate, man, is these injuries that only last like 3 days. Because then I have to edit the lineup again. And it's just time-consuming. Oh, well, why don't you turn off injuries? Because I don't want to. I don't want to. That's your answer. That's your answer. Because I like to complain. That's why. That is your response. I like to complain. So I leave injuries on. It makes perfect sense. It really does. We'll drop a Honan back down to the 4th line center spot. We'll keep the line the same. Let's go. It's March 3rd, so we're making decent time as we approach the half-an-hour mark. We are making decent time. The hope is by the 40-minute mark at the latest to be into the draft, which, oh my God, these injuries, which I feel like we were close to hitting in the last episode. I can't remember. But we did get into the sim a little bit later than I had wanted to, just because it took me forever to sort out the lineup. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens as the Hershey Bears are officially out of the playoffs in March. That's a bit rough. That is a bit rough to be that bad. But the one thing about this series, will we ever have a winning team with the Caps? Hopefully. Will we ever have a winning team with the Hershey Bears? Probably not. Probably not. Now that is going to be interesting to find out. Can we get a winning season out of the Hershey Bears? I doubt it, But, you know, if we get enough draft luck towards the end of the series, it might be possible. Will we ever hit that vicious cycle, as I like to call it, that we tend to hit in my series? We've hit it in Rebuilding Hockeytown. We've hit it in A Nation United. Oh, my God. No, I'm not going to sneeze. It's not going to happen. Oh, my God. I apologize for that. Oh, God. I'm surprised that doesn't happen more often when I'm having to talk. Oh, for an hour long. It's not over. It's still fighting. It's still fighting. Oh, my God. Oh, it's the worst. No, I don't want to sneeze. I don't. Please, no. Please, no. Body, stop it. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. I think we're good. Maybe. Yeah. Nope. Okay. Nope. We're still fighting. Okay, we're good. Oh my God. That was the sneeze that just did not want to go away. It didn't want to be denied. But in a video like this where where we're simming along, I don't really want to make a jump cut. So, yeah, but I'm surprised that doesn't happen a bit more frequently. Sneezing or just going into like a coughing fit during the video. I guess I've gotten pretty lucky. What was I saying? Oh, the vicious cycle. We've seen it in Rebuilding Hockeytown. We've seen it in A Nation United. We're just year in and year out. We have so many graduates from the AHL level to the NHL level, and we just have to make trade after trade after trade. I don't know if we'll ever hit that in this series, but that is still the goal as the NHL regular season comes to a close. Again, I don't give a damn about the rookie scoring. I don't care. Let's just sim to the end of the month. We ended up finishing, though, with a fairly respectable season, in part thanks to the 9 overtime losses. So we did manage to pick up quite a few points, which is nice. A successful season? Maybe not. But then again, I guess you could consider every season for us successful because, we continue to play our guys that continue to make progression. So overall, I feel like it's fair to say this was a successful season. Now, the one thing I did worry about, of course, was the progression from our AHL players. I was wondering as I started this series, would it be the right idea to have just a bunch of 75s? That way we could play our prospects down in the AHL and maybe they'd progress better that way. But so far, we have had players make progression. So I'm glad that wasn't the case, is what I'm trying to say, because, well, it's been fun to just sign the worst players in the league or the aging guys that just aren't going to be signed by an NHL team anymore. I like the way the series has gone so far, as we'll scout the Czech Extraliga for another 2 weeks. And then hopefully I can scout out, I believe, Switzerland is the last territory. Yeah, I should be able to get the last 2 scouting sessions in there. So that's good. 2 weeks, scouting out every area. That is the most we can do without, of course, scouting the goaltending for each region. A little bit frustrating that you kind of have to pick and choose and not head into the draft knowing what some players are. But, I understand the creative direction behind it, but still. As the San Jose Sharks win the Stanley Cup, the Iowa Wild win the Calder Cup. Do I get that one more scouting? I don't. It would have been 2 weeks already. Okay. Alright, so unfortunately, we didn't get the full scouting, which is... I could have gone 2 weeks for certain regions that only had like 2 defensemen, but it is what it is. So let's take a look. How did we do this season? We'll go to the entire league standings as Detroit. Didn't they finish in first last year? Damn, so we were 6 points back of the second place Columbus Blue Jackets, or the 29th place Columbus Blue Jackets. Wow. We'll have to take a look at their roster. Goals for per game. We didn't have the worst offense in the league. That belonged to Toronto. Goals against per game, we were still the worst, but not by a lot. Not by a lot. Power play doesn't really matter, but we were far from the league's worst power play. Oh my God. Was I seeing that right? Or were we? I must have seen somebody else's thing. Hold on, where are we? There we go. 17%. Yeah, still far from the league's worst power play. 14% for Winnipeg. Wow. That is awful. And then a 77%. Wow. Jesus, man, we weren't terrible. That's the only thing I can say is wow, we weren't terrible. Really quick, We'll look at our player stats. I do want to take a look at Columbus, though. Let's go look at the Blue Jackets. This was a team that only finished, what was it, 7 points ahead of us? Philip Forsberg, Tyler Seguin, 86 overall, Tommy Vanelli, James Neal, Nathan McKinnon. What can you even say? What can you even say about the way that this game sims that team was barely better than we were? That's insane. Oscar Dansk, 84. I mean, the goaltending was about the same. Maybe that had a lot to do with it. I don't know. But let's take a look at our stats. Like I said, I want to breeze through this. Ottinger with 62 appearances. Both goalies under a 900 save percentage this year. Take a look at the skating. Nolan Patrick, a point a game player. 83 points in 82 games. Andrei Svechnikov, also a point a game player. Winquist with 53 points as you get a look. Owen Lane broke 50 points this year. Not too shabby in the plus minuses. Still a bit rough, but we don't have a minus 108 like we did in the first 2 seasons. Not too bad. We'll take a look league-wide. Vladimir Tarasenko and Patrick Laine and Steven Stamkos all break the 90-point mark. All right. Let's get a look at the bracket. We'll get a look at the bracket. The San Jose Sharks, of course, won the Cup in 6 games over the Philadelphia Flyers. And down in the AHL, the Iowa Wild beat the Springfield Thunderbirds in 5. We'll take a look at the Stanley Cup winning roster. We'll take a look at the awards. And we are right on pace to get to the draft exactly when I wanted to. So let's take a look at the Sharks. Jaden Schwartz, Mark Scheifele, Tyler Johnson, Elias Anderson hit a 90. Hopefully he could do that in a different series of ours and make me feel a little bit better. Jordan Subban was on that team. He reached an 85 overall. Damn, interesting team. Interesting team. Not the biggest of names. And Calvin Pickard, 86 overall, wins the Stanley Cup. Case in point, you don't need an elite level goaltender to take home the cup. Let's see here. Hopefully now, it's become a habit of me to miss out on players from our team that happen to win trophies. So I'm going to pay extra close attention as Kalinin from Minnesota won the Calder. I'm going to pay extra close attention. What trophy did we win last year? It was like the Masterton or the Jennings or something like that. As Thatcher Demko won the Vezina and the Jennings. Edmondson won the Masterton. That's what it was. Nolan Patrick won the Selke, and I missed it. Jonathan Taves wins it this year. Laine and Tufte. I'm still trying to fight off my sinuses here. This is the worst. Absolutely the worst. But I'm gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going as Riley Tufte scored the most goals at the NHL level. Down in the AHL, the Iowa Wild take home some more hardware on the back of Vitaly Fedorov's amazing season. Did we manage to take home any hardware? Yes, we did. Essentially the equivalent of the Masterton Trophy. Ferraro is our 1 award winner this year. That wraps up this season. Let's move on to the draft, the highlight of every video, at least for me. As we take a swig, we lose the fucking hell. We lost the friggin' lottery again. Again, we lost it. We're still in the top 3. We get the 3rd pick. But, man, that's still rough. That is still rough. And obviously with the draft lottery odds, it's always likely. It's always likely, but still, as we lose a ton of players. I told you there was a good chance of Cal Davis retiring. I told you. I called it. I am happy to say I told you so. Which is a bit of a shame because we do lose a prospect that we drafted, but he was a 7th round pick, or a 6th at best. I honestly can't remember and I don't care to look. It's not like we lost anybody major, unlike the New Jersey Devils, who just lost the services of Alex Ovechkin. Ryan Suter was drafted in the fantasy draft by Minnesota, but he retires as well. But man, losing the lottery again, that is so harsh. That is so harsh. And we'll see. Will it be as bad as last year? I don't see it. The only way it could be worse than last year. No, please God, no. He's going to be franchised. Oh my God, are you serious? Ken Janes. He's going to be franchise, isn't he? He's going to be high elite or franchise. Oh my God. Please, God. No. No. It was Duncan. Then it was, oh my God. He's going to be a franchise level player. He is. Holy shit. All right. Well, then who are we taking? It's going to be Joey Walton, CHL player. Jonathan Sanderson. We have Dmitry Goldobin and Bill Dexter. One of those four will be a Washington Capital, but Janes is going to be taken in the first round. Medium elite. No, wait, that was Walton. Whoa, God, no. Come on. Pittsburgh, don't fuck me here. Come on. Simpic. Holy shit. Okay, well, he's probably not going to be franchised, but we're getting Janes. Don't tell me he's going to be low elite. Oh, my God. What do I do now? What do I do now? He shows up as exact elite. Oh, my God. I mean, if you look at need, it would probably make sense to go with Goldobin. We do need more forwards than defensemen at this stage, and he's Russian. We have Jonathan Sanderson, who's a CHL defenseman, so it wouldn't be him. It's got to be... And actually, in fairness, Ken Janes is also a CHL guy, despite being American. So do we go with the need of Goldobin, or do we just pick Ken Janes? I legitimately thought he was going to be franchise. 100%. I could have sworn last year it was exact elite. Maybe it showed up as high elite. I can't remember. Now I'm doubting myself, but... Oh my God, did we go with Goldobin or Janes? Shit, let's take a look at Walton and Dexter really quick. Walton and Dexter, two guys that were drafted instead of Janes. That, man, it would have been tough with that first pick. Walton, good potential, or good value, and potential for that matter. 61 overall at 18 years old. Not crazy, though. Not crazy in terms of trade value. And then Pittsburgh, wow, they really missed with Dexter. Now, he is a 78 at 18 years old with medium elite potential, but you notice the lower trade value. He probably won't turn in to a dominant player, but that is somebody that we really could have used, you know? Like, if we ended up with him, I'd be a bit concerned about his value, but the fact that he's a 78 overall, he'd arguably turn into our best defenseman by the start of next season. I'm going to immediately call my timeout because there's no way. There's just, I don't know who to pick here. I don't know who to choose. I mean, there's going to be forwards later on in the draft. But if you look here, for defensemen, there's one high top four, and then maybe in the second round, we could end up with Fedorov, Artukin, or Latipov. But those are the three best defensemen we have a chance at getting if we don't go with the exact elite potential, right? For forwards, you know, you have exact top 9. There are two, well, in fairness, Bootland, who would probably end up being low top 4, could be an option as well. But then for forwards, you have a bunch of high bottom 6. So this is, and there is another guy here in the second round, Doherty, that we could go with. But he's a power forward, so maybe not. There's a chance we could get a good defenseman. We could get a good defenseman in the second round. First pick of the second round, we could get a good defenseman. Goldobin is the best forward left in this draft that we have a shot at. Ken Janes could be a monstrous defenseman, though. I don't know who to pick. Sanderson as well could be great. But the fact that it shows him as exact elite, which he probably is, medium elite, and I don't know what Goldobin is. I can't take the risk. And this is just like the Yip draft pick. I can't take the risk. I have to go with the guy that we at least know. Now, I mean, if there was a chance of Goldobin being like franchise or a high elite, yeah, I'd take the pick. Or I'd take the risk and make the pick. But, oh God. Ken Janes, please don't be low elite. He's medium elite. Okay. All right, let's see. Where does Goldobin go? Sanderson went next, also medium elite. Goldobin didn't get picked yet. They picked Costi, who was low elite. Goldobin, medium elite to Boston. Okay, so we need to check Toronto and Boston. We need to check Toronto and Boston here. So let's see. The Bruins. The Bruins took... Wow. It wasn't Goldobin. It was this Goldobin. Okay, I saw two Goldobins and I'm like, wait a minute, he's AHL. 60 overall at 18 years old with pretty awful trade value, really. So I feel all right about not picking Dmitry Goldobin. Toronto, they picked up was it a defenseman, technically? Holy shit, no. Yeah, it was Sanderson. 60 overall at 18 years old with insane trade value. Well, as good as what the first overall pick was. So what did we get with James? Nice. Nice. That's a good pick. That's a good pick. His value might be a little bit lower than the player that Toronto took, but he's a 68 overall at 18 years old. I'm good with that, guys. I'm good with that. We get Ken James second, or was it second overall? Third overall. That's weird that it was showing Wheating. Oh, that's right, because from this menu you can't hit the triggers. My bad. But there you have it. There's our future top pairing. It is Wheating and Janes. Those will be, and I mean, that'll be the staple pairing of this series the rest of the way, I'd like to imagine. So overall, not as disastrous as last year was when it comes to missing out on the first overall pick. Interesting. Interesting. You know what? I'm not against what happened as the Bruins acquired Tuukka Rask. I'm not against what has happened so far in this draft. So that's a solid first pick. Solid first pick. And a bit of a scare. A bit of a scare that I thought he might be another franchise player we missed out on. Now, here's the interesting situation. Like I mentioned, odds are there was going to be another strong defenseman available. And that is the case, as we have Bootland, who is projected just as a straight-up second-round pick, but he's 17, so his value probably isn't going to be amazing. Or his overall, I should say. We have Jorg Ronkel, 19 years old, so he might be the guy to pick. We have Ruslan Afanasenkov, the Russian defenseman, and Sergei Artukin, the Ukrainian defenseman. Now, we don't know too much about Afanaganov, or Afanasenkov, I should say. Just Afanaganov came to mind. Maxim Afanaganov, a former Buffalo Sabre. But Sergei Artukin, high top 6 projected. So is he low top 4? Is Ronkel low top 4? Or is he medium top 4? Right? And if you look at who else is available here, there's a bunch of guys that we just didn't get information on, which is unfortunate, but that's all we could really afford to do. Forward-wise, if we look down here, second to third round, high bottom 6, an exact top 9 in Sean Corey. So we could still end up with a decent forward in the next round. I think we have to go with the defenseman. Ronkel. Ruslan Afanasenkov as an offensive defenseman. Or Sergei Artukin. I think Artukin and Ronkel will probably end up being the same potential. That, I think, will be low top 4. Let's go with the German. Jorg I'm going to say Jorg Ronkel is our guy. How good is he? Is the question. And he was medium top 4. All right. Sometimes, even though it says exact, they end up being low top 4. That's a good pick. We just added 2 very solid defenders to this team. Afanasenkov was medium top 4. Tursunbayev was medium top 6. Did I say low top 4 for Ronkel? I'm sorry. Again, I'm tired, man. But I wanted to get this video out there. So Artukin and Afanasenkov, Columbus and New Jersey. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at what we passed up on and see if we made the right decision. So, we have, and you know, I'll just go to defenseman because his value is really down there. Afanasenkov is a 63 overall at 18 years old. Look at that trade value, though, man. Good potential. Awful trade value. Awful trade value. We'll go take a look at the New Jersey Devils on the other guy that we passed up on. And again, not ideal. 60 overall at 18 years old. The reason why I picked Ronkel, he's 19, so his value should, or his potential, his overall should be better. And it is. About the same value, right? Same potential, but he's a 67 overall at 19 years old. And odds are he will factor into one of our teams at the very least. Maybe not the NHL team, but at least the AHL side much, much sooner. I mean, immediately this season. He'll be that much bigger of an impact player. So I'm good. I am very good with that pick. I am very happy with our first 2 picks of this draft. Let's sim to the next pick, as opposed to getting like a low top 6 power forward, you know? I am content. 100%. We will scroll back through and see who we missed out on, which so far so good, I would say. Medium top 9 in Helm, medium top 9. A couple of starter goalies, but we don't have to worry about that. Our goaltending is taken care of. In the first round, was there anybody really worth getting? I mean, that goalie that was available ended up being medium elite. Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. This draft so far has gone well for us. Let's see if we can keep that up here in the third round. Now, we have an exact top 9, a high bottom 6, and a high AHL extra forward. That scares me tremendously. And we have Corey as well, who's a playmaker, so he might be a bit better option than Sontag, who's a grinder. But you have Keane, who we only scouted once. So that's just not reliable. That's just not reliable. Second to third round, projected as a sniper. You have Kalle Martinson, 18-year-old Swede, and Thomas Sontag. Right. And then, of course, the other guy was Sean Corey. I think Martinson is probably the way to go. I mean, he's a sniper, right? Center as well. I'm going to go with Sontag or Martinson because they're centers. It's just, do we go with a grinder in Sontag, who at best is medium top 9, I would say? Or do we go with Martinson? Both equally, I'd say, have a chance of finishing low top 9 for potential. Kalle Martinson or Sontag? Tough choice. I'm going to go with... Oh, yeah, it's a tough decision, man. It's a tough decision. Martinson or Sontag? You know what? Exact potential worked out for me already in this draft. Let's take Sontag in the third round. Medium top 9. Perfect. Perfect. Very happy with that pick. Martinson was low top 9. There we go. There we go. That worked out well. And things have gone okay with us. They're okay for us in the draft. There have been quite a few very close calls. We obviously had some picks in the first few drafts that didn't exactly go our way. But as of late, things have been going pretty well. Now, here in the fourth round, as far as who we have feedback on, it's not looking too good, is it? It's not looking too good. We have, I'd say, 2 guys that are worth considering at this time. That would be Parise and McNaughton. For defensemen, we don't have anything to worry about. Although exact potential, there is another guy here in the fourth round, Conley, who could be a medium top 9 if we're very lucky. So, McNaughton. Actually, Conley's fourth round, right? Right. So we got... Oh, that's right. Oh, Conley's actually protected for the fourth round. I got confused because of the third to fourth round. It's late. I'm sorry. Forgive me. So, Conley, Parise, or McNaughton. Seth McNaughton, a sniper from the Flint Firebirds. We have Clinton Conley, the center playmaker, who played in Switzerland. And Michel Parise, played for Val d'Or. Also an option, 19 years old as well, so he could be the better option. Clinton Conley. I got to go with the exact potential, guys. I have to. Plus, we could send him down to the AHL if we wanted to. The other 2 we couldn't. Clinton Conley, you're our guy. And actually, I wouldn't even consider Parise as a power forward. Comes down to McNaughton or Conley. We're going to take the risk with Conley. Even if he's low, I wouldn't mind. He's not. He's medium top 9. Beautiful. McNaughton, same thing. But again, we can send Conley down to the AHL. We can send him down to the AHL. 4 picks, 4 hits, I would say. Absolutely. We haven't had that big swing and miss yet in this draft, and let's hope it doesn't happen. Let's hope it doesn't happen at all. Now, here in the 5th round, a couple of guys that we have information on, quite a few that we don't. I would say this guy here, Morgan Curtis, who played in the U.S., so that's very beneficial for us as far as being able to send him down, is a good option and is really the only option. High league interest. We don't want to go with one of these guys, and there's only one defender left that's even worth looking at, and that's Nathan Mann. So, yeah. All right, Curtis, you're our guy. Low top 9, probably? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Still, for a 5th round pick, low top 9 potential, I'm good. I'm good. That's a pick. Compared to a low bottom 6, a medium bottom 6, medium bottom 6. Yeah, you know, that's a good pick. That's another good pick. I didn't mean to hit trade. Whoops. Won't be happening anyway. Won't be happening anyway. Let's send to our next pick in the 6th round. 2 more to go. 2 more to go as we approach the hour mark, but we're right on schedule. Right on schedule. So with our next pick here in the 6th round, do we have any exacts left? We have Card. 7th round projected Jack Card. We have DePenta and Eberle for forwards. And we'll stick with the forwards most likely, at least for this pick. Vic Eberle, 19-year-old. He's a power forward, though, which kind of scares me. Or we could go with Ed DePenta. That just sounds weird. Ed DePenta. All right. 18 years old. Again, you know, that's the thing, is a lot of people feel like power forwards just don't develop. He is 19, though, so he could be a bit better. DePenta or Eberle? DePenta or Eberle? The fact that we can't send Eberle down to the AHL is the deciding factor. Let's go with Ed DePenta, a bit more of a risk pick. He is low top 9. We will sim to our next pick and then scroll back to see if we made the right decision. But still, a 6th round pick, low top 9, isn't terrible. Let's take a look here. There's a McMuffin. There's another McMuffin. Oh, this game. Amboul. I remember, though, there's a guy from the World, not for the World Championship. I was going to say the World Junior. I, at one point, knew how to pronounce that properly. Eberle, low top 9. Okay, so yeah, we couldn't have gone wrong. We couldn't have gone wrong. 7th round, our last pick. Unfortunately, Mann, the defenseman, has gone. So it's going to be Card. Card is going to be our last pick. We'll hope for a medium bottom 6. But he is very clearly the choice. Let's see. Low top, or I wish low top 9. Low bottom 6 for a 7th round pick, though. And for what we're doing in this series, I'm okay with that. And that's what I love about this series, is every player we pick actually has a value and importance to us, rather than just being like, all right, let's trade him for a 7th round pick to get rid of him. Everybody has at least a little bit of value to us in this series, and that was the point. That was the point. Let's quickly go through the re-sign phase to wrap up this episode. I prefer to get this done here as we end the video, and that way too you guys can get a look at the overall of quite a few players. Marmon on a 2-way deal, and that's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. By the time Quirk is ready, Marmon could still be a AHL level player. Although Saget could really be pushing for that spot. We might have to make a decision on the goaltending sooner rather than later. Manulin needs a new deal, and again, I just sign them to whatever the hell they want. It's not like money is a concern, and signing them beyond the years that they're asking for can really hinder their development. As Ferraro was a 4th round pick of ours, we'll re-sign him as well. We will, oh man, we got a lot of players to resign. Manez needs to be brought back. We need to sign Janes, who's a 68 overall, which is pretty sweet. Hedberg also needs to be brought back. We're getting to the stage, man, where most of these guys are actually our own players. Of course, a lot of players, too, retired for us. That's why the list seems a little bit empty. We'll sign Ronkel as well, a 67. Not bad. Not too shabby. That defense is looking good, man. That defense is looking good. A lot of potential, that's for sure. We'll re-sign Boys. Ekman as well. Send an offer to Card, who's a 66 at 19 years old. That's not bad. That is not bad at all. And we'll also let go of PL3 37 years old as an enforcer, and he stuck around. That's interesting. Oh boy, we got some contracts here. Winquist needs to be signed. We need to re-sign Owen Lane to another 2 years. Clune, I'm sorry, I'll probably bring you back, though. Don't worry. Same with Madsen. We'll bring him to Penta, 63 overall. For centers, Motto needs a new deal, as does McIntyre. We'll sign Sontag, who ended up being a 64 overall. And then Conley and Curtis. So yeah, most of our guys, most of our UFAs and RFAs, or not RFAs, but most of our UFAs at least, ended up retiring. So that made that very easy. We're going to be up to well over the 40 contract mark with just players that we drafted. So we're getting to that stage where nearly every person on the team will be a player drafted by us in this series, which is fantastic. It limits the amount of players that we have to re-sign or that we have to pick up in free agency, and then starts to create its own unique issue with who do we keep and who do we get rid of. But man, Nolan Patrick showing up as a 92. And I said well over the mark. We're at 41 contracts. But still, really, I only need to sign 1 or 2 guys. 43 contracts, we're good. So this team, this team is looking good. Now it's just a matter of time and whether or not the prospects we have picked up will be able to progress. But we have 1 high elite player in Nolan Patrick, 4 medium elites. Well, that's just actually on the main roster. We also have Waiting as well as a medium elite, and that doesn't factor in the goaltending. I'm liking the looks of this team, guys. Slowly but surely, we are progressing. It was an interesting year for us, maybe a little bit worse than we expected to do. But once again, we have added even more talent. What will happen as we sim through the next season in the next episode? I don't know, but I am for damn sure excited to find out, and I hope you guys feel the same way. That will do it for this one. Of course, if you did enjoy the video, hit that like button. Don't just hit the like button. Hit the like button and then break the keyboard over your head. Put some emphasis on it, some meaning. Hit that like button with meaning, like it's stealing your lunch money. Just hit it, and then subscribe too, because why wouldn't you want more of this content? Am I right? Of course, follow me on Twitter at Tuki24. And join the notification squad if you haven't already so that you don't miss a video. You wouldn't want to miss this, right? Guys, thank you so much for watching. You know it's greatly appreciated. I hope it was an entertaining video. And like I said, I'm looking forward to the next one. I will see you guys in the next episode of Draft to Glory.